Continue now with our lead story. Senator Hillary Clinton enters the no-spin zone. I spoke with her this morning in South Bend, Indiana, and the conversation quickly became personal. You know, your husband and I make a lot of money. Did you know that?
I've heard that.
Yeah, we make a lot of money. And you, if you're president, are going to take more of my money and your husband's money away. Away. Okay. Now I'm paying 33% Fed tax now. You're going to raise that to what?
I'm going up to what we had in the 1990s.
39, 39 and a half, all right?
36, 39.
All right, so I'm getting a 6.5% bump. And so is Bill Clinton.
It's only for the people making more than $250,000.
No, that's me. You're talking to them.
I know.
Okay.
And I am very happy that you're going to pay more so that we can cut middle-class taxes on people who get up every day and do hard work that keep our country going.
But before I vote for you, I want to know exactly how much you're going to take out of my wallet, all right?
I'm going to take as much
you got 6.5.
as you were paying in the 90s. And as I recall, you did pretty well in the 90s.
Yeah. 6.5, okay. Now, payroll tax, you're going to knock that out?
I have not made any commitment on what we're going to do on Social Security.
You're going to run for president. You're going to do it or not?
Because here's why. I learned a lesson from Ronald Reagan. In 1980, when he was elected, our Social Security system was in a mess. The Democrats weren't agreeing, and a lot of the Republicans were nervous. So Speaker Tip O'Neill, another great American politician, the two of them, the two Irishmen, got together and said, let's have a commission. Because the only way we're going to fix this is if everybody said, hey, we got to make some changes. I am not going to raise the payroll tax on people who are already paying more than they should.
But I could pay it on every nickel I make.
No, I am not in favor.
That'd be another 8 going on to the 6.5.
I am not in favor of lifting the cap. That's Senator Obama.
Oh,
I am not in favor of lifting the cap.
Okay, so you're going to keep it at 109.
We're going to see what happens here.
All right. So you're kind of waffling here.
No, I'm not waffling. I'm saying I'm not going to impose additional burdens on middle-class families. And there are a lot of people.
I'm not a middle-class family. I'm a rich guy.
And you know what? Rich people, God bless us. We deserve all the opportunities to make sure our country and our blessings continue to the next generation.
Because I'm a saver and I'm prudent, I'm assuming that I'm going to get a 14% hit.
Don't assume that. You can't assume that from me. I've not said anything like that.
Okay. You're going to raise taxes on the wealthy, and that's income redistribution. You know what that is. And income redistribution is why some conservatives don't like you. All right? It's because you take from the wealthy and you give to the less affluent. That's socialism. That has a socialist component.
No, it isn't.
Sure it is.
Was Teddy Roosevelt a socialist?
Somewhat.
Oh, I think that Teddy Roosevelt was a great American who understood that our country works better when we're all in it together. Now, 90% of the benefits of income in the last decade have gone to people like us. Income distribution was much broadly dispersed. You were growing up on Long Island. I was growing up outside of Chicago. You know, my dad got up every day. He was a small businessman. He worked his head off, but he didn't feel like the deck was stacked against him. He thought, okay, I'm going to be treated fairly if I do my part.
Here's where you're wrong. In my neighborhood, Levittown, there was no income distribution at all. There was earning money.
That's right.
And you kept most of it because taxes were really low.
That is not true. That is not. Look at the tax rates in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s.
For wealthy, they were high, but not for my dad.
Well, and so why don't we go back to what we had in the 50s and the 60s then? Go back to 70%.
Because there were no wealthy people then.
Well,
there were very, very few.
When President Kennedy made that dramatic announcement he was going to cut the top rate from 90% to 70%, people stood up and cheered. All I want to do is get back to what worked in the 90s.
Okay.
In the 90s, we had one of the strongest, fairest economies we've ever had. Yes, did people like you and me pay a little bit more? We sure did. But so did everybody else benefit because middle-class taxes stayed pretty even.
We had a pretty good economy under Bush except for the last year.
No, we've had a really, you know, in the last 7 years, the typical American family's lost $1,000 in income. Their energy costs have gone up $2,000. The average tax cut that they got out of whatever he was doing was $600. People are net losers under the Bush economy. They were net winners under the Clinton economy. We're going to bring back a good, positive economy for the vast majority of Americans.
I'm going to let you go on that because I want to get on to other stuff, but I think that's debatable.
But we could go on all day.
Yeah, you could. Okay, now look. Some people say there's not a big difference between you and Barack Obama. Overall philosophy, overall outlook. It's a Democratic liberal line. He's more liberal than you, but it's the same thing. And it's a personality run, which is why before Reverend Wright derailed him, Barack Obama had some momentum because you're a more polarizing personality than he is. Would you agree with that?
Well, I'm
perceived as a nicer guy.
Well, I've been around a long time. You know, I bear a lot of the scars of the ideological and the political battles. I stand up for what I believe in. I believe, for example, universal health care is something we have to achieve in this country.
So does he.
So No, he doesn't actually. His plan is not a universal
but it's
health care
the same
plan.
thing.
But my point is, I've been doing that for 15 years. So the people who disagree with me, it's fair. This is the way our system is. They take shots at me. When I started running in New York, people didn't think I could win. And then I came back and won with 67% of the vote.
You've done good in New York.
Because I reached across party lines. I'm the one with the record of bipartisanship.
But you're a more polarizing personality. You're like I am. And I hate to say that, with all due respect. But you are. And Obama's a nice guy. And that's what this is all about.
I happen to think if you want to take on the health insurance companies, the drug companies,
you gotta be tough.
The oil companies, you got to be tough.
I got to ask you this.
And we got to have a president who's a fighter again. Now, will that create some folks who are a little upset? Yes. But if we don't get back to fighting for the American people, we're not going to recognize our country.
All right. But I'm just trying to tell you that it's a personality contest, a lot of this. That's what it is. Now, in New York, you said you were going to improve upstate New York,
yes.
And you didn't. And the economy's worse than it was before you took over 8 years ago, and you blamed it on Bush. Just for the record, you've done some good things. I live in the state, but New Yorkers, highest taxes in the union. Now, final question. Are you surprised? You got to tell me the truth here. You look at me in the eye, so I'm going to believe you. Are you surprised that Fox News has been fairer to you than NBC News and a lot of the other liberal news networks? Are you surprised?
I wouldn't expect anything less than a fair and balanced coverage of my campaign.
Now, I know you're being a little, but really, aren't you surprised?
Well, I have, look, I am not a pundit or a commentator.
But
I will
they
leave
hammer
that to you.
Every single
that comes with the territory.
I know, but aren't you surprised?
I'm running for the toughest job in the world, and it goes with the territory.
So you're not going to tell me whether you're surprised?
Well, I think a lot of people know that this is a campaign of firsts. Us sitting down today, another first.
And isn't
in this
this fun
campaign.
so far?
Oh, I've been having a good time, except I want to correct the record on New York, because we do have to make some big changes in New York, changes that I've advocated, and I hope we'll finally get around to doing it. Look, we got business to do in this country.
All right.